On the prestigious university campus, the famous trio of Lucas, Raphael and Joel are inseparable. With confident steps and challenging eyes, they always appear together, becoming the obsession of many students. Not only do they skip classes and miss deadlines, but they somehow maintain top grades, leading many to suspect they have special relationships with the administration or even influential professors. Enjoy. Rumors spread that Raphael's uncle was a close friend of the university president. This speculation was whispered among the students as they waited for chemistry class to begin. That explains a lot, Sophia said thoughtfully to her friend. However, there is no concrete evidence to support these suspicions. Only the constant gaze of suspicion that follows the trio and their questionable academic activities. The trio are notorious for their cruel pastime of mocking those they consider inferior. Whether it's a classmate who dresses simply or a professor with a different accent, no one can escape their ridicule. One day, as they walked across campus, Lucas pointed to a classmate with an old backpack and made a derogatory comment about where he might find it. Raphael is always ready to participate, adding a sarcastic comment about a professor's poor English. Joel, the ringleader, laughed loudly and encouraged his friends to continue. Many people perceive their presence as predators always looking for the next victim. A second-year student confided to her friend about how unbearable the trio's antics were. Okay, remembering how Lucas had dropped her book on the ground the other day, laughing like it was the funniest thing in the world. The worst part is they know they can get away with it, it's like no one has the courage to fight them, she added. The general feeling is one of frustration and helplessness. Everyone knew that something needed to change, but the trio seemed untouchable. Aware of their impunity, they feel free to insult, mock and even physically threaten anyone who crosses their path, treating the university as their personal playground. However, change is right before our eyes. On a sunny afternoon, Andre, a new transfer student, decided to challenge their autocracy. He had heard the rumors but was determined not to become another victim. When he saw Lucas knock a classmate's books to the ground, Andre walked in with a glare. "Why don't you bully someone your own size?" he challenged, helping his classmates pack up their books. Lucas was surprised by the confrontation, looking to Raphael and Joel for support. Raphael with a sarcastic smile shrugged his shoulders. "Who are you to tell us what to do?" Joel smirked. Undeterred, Andre shot back, "I'm a man who believes in justice and respect. You three could learn something about that." Although Andre was brave, his attempt to stand up to the trio did not have the desired effect. They mocked him, joking about the school hero. However, something has changed. Everyone began to whisper in admiration of Andre's courage. The resignation that once permeated the atmosphere began to dissipate and a seed of protest was sown. At the beginning of the semester, the Department of Advanced Technology and Design welcomed a new student named Brenda. With long brown hair, expressive eyes, and a confident demeanor, she stands out for her simple and modest attire, in contrast to the sophistication of many students in the department. Her shoes were basic, the bag had no obvious branding, and her clothes, although well kept, were modest. Brenda comes from one of the most prestigious schools in the country, famous for producing top professionals. As Brenda enters her first class, Lucas, Raphael, and Joel watch from afar, ready to make their usual sarcastic comments. "Look at the new girl," Lucas said with a sarcastic smile, "she looks like she borrowed her great-grandmother's clothes. I bet she's from the countryside, maybe a farm or something. Her parents probably spent all their savings to send her here." Raphael added, "Never miss a chance to join in on the trolling. I bet her town is so remote that they don't even have internet. She probably thinks Wi-Fi is a kind of food." Joel added, satisfied with his observation. What the trio don't realize is that Brenda is no ordinary girl from the countryside. Behind her simple appearance lies a rich and complex story. Her parents were not the humble farmers they imagined but famous intellectuals. However, for Lucas, Raphael and Joel, raised in luxury and accustomed to judging people by their wealth, this detail is irrelevant. Brenda continued on her path, ignoring their hurtful comments, focusing on her goal of excelling in college. Hearing their painful comments, she felt both indignation and pity. She stopped, took a deep breath and slowly turned around to face the trio. Her eyes lit up with determination and confidence. You know, it's better to be considered a true country girl than an empty shell covered with labels. You hide behind your parents' money, but what do you really have inside? What's left when you put aside all superficial glamour? She walked closer to Joel and continued, the world has a strange way of surprising us and the wheel of destiny turns for everyone. Today you are on top, but are you really believe that your arrogant attitude and toxic behavior will keep you there? The room became silent. All eyes were focused on that scene. Students who had felt oppressed by this trio for so long now witnessed someone confronting them head-on. When Brenda finished speaking, there was a moment of silence before the room erupted in applause and cheers from many students. Standing up and applauding Brenda for her courage and eloquence. On the other hand, the trio appeared stunned and speechless. For the first time in a long time, they were disarmed. Looks that were once filled with fear and submission were now shown in a new light of respect and admiration for Brenda. Raphael whispered to Lucas that it was a vile blow and that she had no right. Still in shock, Lucas replied, she may have surprised us now, but we won't let this happen. Joel, who was most affected by Brenda, felt his face heat up with embarrassment. He looked around and realized the dynamics had changed. She'll regret this, he whispered, more to himself than to his friends. Although the trio tried to maintain a facade of indifference, it was clear that they were deeply hurt. They are not used to being challenged, let alone publicly humiliated. In the days that follow, while Brenda continues her academic journey with dignity and grace, the trio meet in secret to plan their revenge. She may be the favorite right now, but that won't last. We have to show her her place, Joel said with a look of resentment. Raphael rubbed his hands nervously, adding, yes, she needs to learn that she can't just humiliate people like us and get away with it. Lucas, always calculating, said, we need to act smart. We have to do this the right way without rushing into anything. Brenda, with her strong and determined attitude, quickly became a prominent figure at the university, not only through her courage in facing the fearsome trio, but also through her dedication to her studies. Practice. The library had become her second home, and it was not uncommon to see her studying late into the night. Did you see Brenda's score on the last exam? She outperformed all of us, one classmate commented to her friend. And that's not all, the friend replied, she was also chosen to represent our university in an international design competition. She's amazing, professors also noticed her talent. Brenda has a brilliant mind, one professor commented during a faculty meeting. She not only understands concepts quickly but also has the ability to apply them creatively. While Brenda reaps the rewards of her hard work and dedication, the trio continues to plot in the shadows. Joel, with an annoyed look on her face, says that she may be the favorite at the moment, but that won't last. As Brenda continues to shine, the trio remains determined to regain their position and make Brenda pay for her audacity. She is focused on her future, unaware of the danger that lurks. On a cloudy afternoon, the trio gathered on the rooftop of an upscale coffee shop, overlooking the bustling city center. A cunning-looking Joel outlined his plan, emphasizing every word to ensure his friends understood the genius behind his idea. Listen, Joel began, we will play a game of seduction and cunning. We will pretend everything that happened is in the past and create a new positive image. I will invite her to my 25th birthday party at the most luxurious restaurant in the city. Raphael with a sarcastic smile interrupted, "Let me guess, you'd think she'd show up in one of those plain, mismatched dresses while we'd all be dressed perfectly in our house clothes, design." "Exactly," exclaimed Joel, "and while she's there, feeling lost, we'll film every embarrassing moment and share it on social media. She'll never pass by you. Our way too." Lucas, ever more cautious, wondered, what if she gets suspicious? What if she doesn't come? Joel confidently replied, "She will come. We will make her believe that we are truly trying to make peace, and she will expect nothing." Raphael laughed, imagining the scene in his mind. "This is going to be epic. She thinks she can challenge us, but we're going to show her where she belongs." Although he was a bit apprehensive at first, Lucas couldn't help but get swept up in his friend's excitement. It would be the perfect revenge. She would never see it coming. The trio raise their glasses and execute their Machiavelli plan, while the city below continues its frenzied routine, unaware of the plots going on above. Joel, with his meticulous nature, made reservations for the famous restaurant located in the heart of the city's most elegant neighborhood. With panoramic city views and luxurious spaces, this was the perfect backdrop for their plans. "I sent email and social media invitations to everyone," Joel said, showing friends the guest list on his tablet. "But for Brenda, I thought of something more personal." The next day, Joel, wearing a fitted suit and holding a yellow envelope, approached Brenda in the university garden. "Brenda," he began gently, "I wanted to personally give you an invitation to my 25th birthday party. It would be an honor to have you there. We've had our disagreements, but maybe this is a chance to start again." Brenda was a bit surprised, looking deep into Joel's eyes, searching for any hint of mal, but only saw what appeared to be genuine sincerity. "I'd be honored." "I'll be there," she replied, accepting the invitation with a cautious smile. What Brenda didn't know was that she was walking straight into the net the trio had set for her. She turned around and continued walking down the street, thinking about what she would wear for the occasion. Joel watched her walk away with a victorious smile on his face. He quickly sent a text to Lucas and Raphael, "You accept. Phase 1 complete." The plan has been meticulously laid out by Joel. Lucas and Raphael are in gear and the trio's confidence is at an all-time high. They believe that Brenda, the country girl, will be a laughing stock at the party. However, they are about to discover that appearances can be deceiving. What they don't know is that behind Brenda's simplicity lies a rich and complex story. Her parents were not the humble farmers they imagined, but famous intellectuals. Raised in luxury and accustomed to judging people by their wealth, this detail is irrelevant to them. What is an academic title compared to a big bank account? Lucas often spoke, echoing the group's sentiments. Raphael once laughed and commented, "Whether you're a PhD professor or a sweaty truck driver, it's the same with me. What matters is what's in your pocket, not what's in your head." Blinded by their arrogance and prejudice, they continued to underestimate Brenda. Immortalizing what they believe is Brenda's downfall, the trio invest heavily in technology. They hired a professional team to install high-definition cameras at strategic points throughout the restaurant, ensuring that everything would be streamed live on major social media platforms. This is going to be epic. Imagine her face when she realizes the whole world is watching her humiliation. Raphael exclaimed, rubbing his hands in anticipation. Lucas looked at the device, commenting, "Nothing but the best to record our victory." Even during the week that seemed endless to them, their anxiety grew with each passing day and their hunger for revenge became more intense. They could hardly wait for Saturday, the day when, in their minds, they would regain the respect and status they believed they had lost thanks to Brenda. On the day of the party, dressed to perfection in designer suits, the trio made a triumphant entrance to the restaurant, arriving in a black convertible. Red was hired specifically for this event. They got off the bus under the watchful eyes of the guests. making sure everything was working perfectly. We've planned everything down to the smallest detail. She won't know what's going on, Joel said discreetly, checking the cameras and signaling the expert to start streaming next. As the restaurant's dining room filled with guests, Joel, glass of champagne in hand, moved gracefully among the groups, accepting warm greetings and lavish gifts. However, his blue eyes continuously scanned the entrance for any sign of Brenda's presence. Raphael noticed Joel's nervousness, commenting that she was probably preparing. You know, women always take a while to prepare. Lucas, always more skeptical, smiled sarcastically, or maybe she realized how out of place she would be at a party like this. I bet the country girl was afraid of being the center of attention and decided to stay home to avoid further humiliation. Trying to stay calm, Joel took a sip of his drink and said, "Maybe you're right, Lucas. Maybe she realized she didn't belong in this world and decided not to let us be here." Although deep inside, a disappointment hit Joel. He had meticulously planned every detail of that night and Brenda's absence threatened to ruin everything. The night was reaching its climax when the sound of a powerful engine caught everyone's attention. A majestic black limousine began to glide slowly towards the restaurant entrance, the city lights reflecting on the car's glossy surface, creating an almost magical effect. Joel, Lucas and Raphael exchanged curious glances. "Who comes to my party in a limousine?" Joel muttered to himself. The atmosphere was filled with anticipation. The guests stopped their conversation and turned their attention to the limousine. The silence was almost palpable. Then, the limousine door slowly opened to reveal a pair of elegant high heels. Brenda appeared, resplendent in a gown that shimmered under the lights, the delicate fabric hugging her curves and the sophisticated design screaming haute couture. Her once simple hair was now styled into soft curls that framed her face. Next to him, a young man with an upright posture and confident demeanor stepped out of the car, wearing a perfect suit. He offered his hand to Brenda and together they walked towards Joel. Joel was speechless, barely able to recognize the girl he had tried to humiliate. With a bright smile, Brenda approached and held out a beautifully wrapped gift. "Happy birthday, Joel," she said in a soft but firm voice. He took the gift, still in shock, and when he opened a small part of the package, he saw the gleam of a reputable brand. His eyes widened. "How could you have this?" "I thought you knew," Joel stammered, clearly confused. With a mischievous smile, Brenda let out an infectious laugh that caused several nearby guests to turn around and see what was going on. Then she looked Joel straight in the eyes and said with a hint of sarcasm, "Oh, Joel, who told you that I come from a humble family? Because of my simple and modest wardrobe, I choose to dress like this because to me, flaunting wealth is an extremely poor taste. Just so you know, my father is the CEO of one of the largest companies in the country. And my mother, she is the principal of this university. But I like to keep my personal and academic life separate. I don't like to show off the scene, unlike some people around here." The silence that followed was almost deafening. Lucas and Raphael were speechless, their faces changing between expressions of surprise and embarrassment. The arrogance that once radiated from them had been replaced by looks of shock. The surrounding guests exchanged interested looks and whispered. The trio's attempt to humiliate Brenda backfires spectacularly, and now they're in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. They certainly became the laughingstock of the nights. In a corner of the restaurant, Alex, the young man accompanying Brenda, chatted animatedly with some guests. His well-fitted suit and designer shoes show off his wealth, but it's his charisma and intelligence that really impress. He is known in the business world for his acumen and ability to sign contracts worth millions of dollars with an 8-figure investment portfolio. "Did you know Alex has a business partnership with those three's parents?" one guest whispered to another guest discreetly. pointing towards Joel, Lucas, and Raphael. Alex noticed the looks directed at him, approached the trio and said with a sarcastic smile, "Joel, Lucas, Raphael, I believe our contract is going well, right?" The trio, still recovering from the previous shock, now have to face the fact that Brenda's boyfriend is not only rich, but also has a direct influence on their future and their family's business. "I didn't know you two knew each other," Joel stammered, clearly uncomfortable. "There's a lot you don't know," Brenda replied, taking Alex's arm. As if the universe was conspiring against them, the trio soon realized that the cameras they had set up to record Brenda's supposed humiliation were actually live-streaming their own humiliation. They reached the entire university. Not only did their plan fail miserably, but they are now the center of attention and laughter. Meanwhile, Brenda and Alex are immersed in their own bubble of happiness, laughing and dancing to celebrate the love they have shared for years, oblivious to the chaos going on around them. Surname, in a corner of the restaurant, Joel, Lucas and Raphael huddled together, trying to avoid the critical looks of the customers. The atmosphere around them was heavy and the silence between them was deafening. Each was lost in his own thoughts, contemplating the humiliation they had endured. "I can't believe this is happening," Lucas muttered, staring at the floor. "This is a nightmare," Raphael replied, looking into the distance. Joel, the birthday boy, just sighed deeply, feeling the weight of his actions. "We really underestimated Brenda," he admitted. The next morning, the university campus was buzzing with rumors and laughter. Social media was flooded with videos and memes from the night before. The trio's humiliation became the talk of the town, and Brenda was elevated into a heroine who finally put the arrogant playboys in their place. "Have you seen the video? They were completely disoriented," one student exclaimed. "Brenda is amazing. She really showed them," said another. Under pressure and embarrassment, the trio had no other choice but to publicly apologize. In an act of humility, they gathered in the central courtyard of the university in front of a crowd of students and apologized for their behavior. "We are truly sorry for everything we did," Joel said with a shaking voice. "We were wrong and we hope everyone can forgive us." Brenda, always considerate, accepted their apology and in a kind gesture, extended her hand to mediate. "We all make mistakes," she said. "The important thing is to learn from them and grow as an individual." The university learned a valuable lesson about humility, forgiveness, and the true meaning of character. Brenda's courage and integrity not only changed the dynamic at the university but also left a lasting impression on all who witnessed the events unfold. If you love engaging in true stories about life, click the subscribe button now to not miss any videos. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to receive the latest information from us. Thank you for your support and companionship.